Hey everyone, welcome back to the My Career Path podcast. I'm your host, Colt Bullock, and today's episode was inspired by my wife. It was a simple idea that she brought to my attention a couple weeks back, and I've been trying to build it into my life, and it's actually done a lot for me. So I wanted to share it with you guys today. And the more I've thought about this quote, the more I've realized, man, there's something kind of powerful here. Like, it's actually built for habit creation. It's a quote that actually applies to career growth, to fitness, creativity, pretty much the backbone of starting any good habit or achieving anything. And here's the quote that she shared with me. It's okay to suck. It's not okay to skip. I don't know who originally said this, but it was in terms of building habits. I'm not claiming the quote, and I don't think my wife is trying to claim the quote either, but I've been trying to go by it for a while, and I kind of realized that it's one of the best habit building tools that I've come across. So today I want to break down why this idea matters, how I've applied it in my own life, what I've learned from it, and how you can actually use it to build consistency, to build better habits, especially when you're tired, overwhelmed, or even feeling behind. So let's get into it. So like I said before, my wife mentioned this to me one day, and it's kind of stuck with me. She and I have both been really good at using Duolingo. We're both at about 1,000-day streak, which means every day for about 3 years. We've been going on Duolingo and just doing something. And I haven't realized, but I was using this principle of basically sucking but not skipping with Duolingo for 3 years. So I know it's possible to build good habits like this. And even if I just did one lesson or one quick kanji thing of learning Japanese, that it would still count towards building a consistent goal. And I've been kind of doing the opposite for a lot of my life. If I couldn't do something well, if I wasn't perfect at it, I just wouldn't do it at all. If I couldn't go to the gym for a full hour, I wouldn't go at all. If I couldn't make the perfect podcast episode, I just wouldn't record one, which is kind of how it's been for the last 2 months, where I haven't posted an episode. I had written out a few scripts. I even recorded some episodes, but I was like, man, this just doesn't feel right. It feels like I'm just making it for creation's sake. I'm just making content so that I can throw it up. It wasn't something that was actually important or had really impacted me on my life. It was just something that I did because I felt like I had to. And the truth is, that kind of idea kept me stuck. Just about every weekend, as Sunday is rolling to a close and Monday's coming around where I have to go back to my full-time job, I would think, man, I should have done more this week. Where did all the time go? Why did I waste so much time? I should really get back on track this week. And you know what? I'm going to do better. But then nothing would change. I would maybe get a bit more done on Monday when the motivation was kind of getting me up and moving, but I would be lucky if by Wednesday I was still working on the things that I wanted to achieve. I'd fall right back into old habits. I'd let not doing something perfectly become an excuse for doing nothing at all. And maybe you've been there too. That Monday morning promise of this week is going to be different, followed by a Tuesday that looks exactly like the last Tuesday. And that's when this idea of basically sucking at a habit instead of not skipping kind of kept coming back to me. It's okay to be terrible and bad at something, but it's not okay to just give up or not okay to not do it at all. And the first place that I really applied this in my life was exercise. There were days when I had absolutely zero energy. I didn't want to lift weights. I didn't want to do any cardio. I didn't want to do a full 45-minute workout. And for a while, that meant that I didn't want to do anything. I did nothing. But recently, if I only have 15 minutes, I do 15 minutes. If I can't hit the weight I want, I just use some lighter weights and do a few more reps. If I'm dragging, just do something simple like jump roping to get my heart rate up. And you know what? It actually works. Showing up even when you're not at your best keeps the habit alive. The moment you start skipping entirely, the habit starts dying. And once the habit dies, restarting it or reviving it is so much harder. Same thing with this podcast. Some days the idea of recording is just overwhelming. Some days I'm tired after work, and some days I think I get way too busy with our basement remodel, which obviously I have a long way to go. All right, I still need to fix up this room and do everything to get it ready. But I realized that if I can just sit down and talk for 10 minutes, that's better than skipping a week, a month, or even a season of not recording something. Because consistency, even terrible, horrible, sloppy consistency, is way more powerful than perfect perfection. So why do we struggle with consistency so much? I think it's important that we talk about why this don't skip approach is so hard. We tend to think we're lazy. We beat ourselves up and we think we lack discipline or motivation. And in a previous episode, I talked about inertia. I talked about how inertia is the scientific idea that an object in motion stays in motion, an object in rest, well, it stays at rest. So picture this, you're trying to push a giant boulder up a hill. It's not a super steep hill, but there is a little bit of an incline. Getting that boulder to start moving is one of the hardest parts. That first push takes almost everything. But once the boulder is actually rolling, even slowly, your job changes. You no longer need these giant, heroic, Herculean efforts. You just need small, steady nudges to keep it going. And I think habits are exactly the same. When you skip a day, that boulder slows down. If you skip a week, it stops entirely. If you skip long enough, it might even start rolling backward, right back to where you started. And when that happens, before you can even make progress again, you have to stop the boulder from rolling the wrong way, which takes even more effort than getting it going in the first place. That's why returning to the gym after a long period away can sometimes feel impossible. Or maybe why returning to your business idea feels overwhelming. Or why getting back into a creative hobby feels like you're starting from zero again. It's not because we're weak, it's not because we're lazy, it's because we let our momentum kind of die. And that consistent momentum, even small, little, tiny pushes, is one of the most underrated tools in personal development. Most people never build long-term habits because they don't give themselves permission to be bad at things. We kind of live in a culture, especially with social media, with perfect polished results. Everybody's got the perfect body, their perfect routine, the perfect morning rituals, the perfect careers, perfect YouTube channels. But the truth is, probably every single one of those people that you admire spent years probably being terrible at something. I'm sure some Olympic gold medalist runners even only jogged a mile a day at one point. Maybe your favorite entrepreneur had months where nothing worked for them at all. Your favorite content creator uploaded some cringe videos before they even found the rhythm. I mean, go back and watch some of the oldest videos from one of your favorite creators. You can just see how far they've come from where they were. Every author wrote chapters that never ever made it into the book. They all sucked, but they didn't skip. They didn't give up. And I think that's the difference. When you give yourself permission to be bad, you remove the psychological barrier that stops most people from starting. And once you start, even imperfectly, you build that momentum. Momentum leads to consistency, consistency leads to progress, and progress leads to confidence. And that confidence can lead to some real transformation. It all begins with one thing: not skipping. So let me give you some real practical examples that you can start applying in your life today. Number one, the minimum daily standard. Set a tiny, easy version of the habit. Even a small step means that you're ever closer to your goal. If you want to read a little bit more, commit to just 1 page. If you want to start writing, commit to 5 minutes, even if it's just recording your thoughts in the voice memo app on our phone. If you want to exercise, go out for 10 minutes. If you want to grow a side business, do 1 small task a day. Small isn't bad. Small keeps the boulder moving. Number 2, separate performance from consistency. A good workout and a completed workout are 2 different things. Same with writing, studying, or practicing a skill like a musical instrument. Some days are for performance, some days are for maintenance. Both count. Number 3, track your don't skip days. A simple calendar or a habit tracker works wonders. Every day you show up, even if you suck at it, put a big X on the calendar. Having some sort of visual reminder means that you won't want to miss a day. You'll see the growth after a week or after a month. You'll see what you've actually worked to accomplish. Number 4, redefine success for the day. Success isn't about being amazing and doing everything perfectly. Success is about showing up day after day, making tiny adjustments over a long, long period of time. That's where growth and success really come from. If you show up, you will win. If you skip, you don't. It's that simple. Number 5, focus on identity and not outcomes. When you do something daily, even in small ways, you start viewing yourself differently. I'm someone who works out. I'm someone who creates content. I'm someone who builds things. I'm someone who keeps promises to myself. Identity sustains habits long after motivation fades. So with all of this, I've kind of been asking myself too, how does this apply to careers? How does this apply to my job? Well, most career paths are built by small, consistent actions, learning little by little over the course of a lifetime. A lot of the people I have interviewed on this channel share the different skills that they learned throughout their lives. Maybe it was being a sales rep and then transitioning into finding and generating leads. Learning a new skill, networking, building a portfolio, applying to different jobs, improving your communication, exploring opportunities, following curiosities. These are small, simple things that you can do every day to improve at whatever career you want to be in. Whether it's a doctor or whether it's just a simple salesperson. Finding ways that you can improve and do better little by little every day leads to really long-term growth. You don't need these giant, humongous steps or leaps every single week. You just need small, consistent action towards your goal. Sometimes you just need to send that one email, read one chapter of your textbook, watch one tutorial online, practice a different skill for 10 minutes, take one small step forward. You'd be amazed how far you get after sucking at something, but showing up every day anyway, and how far it can get you after a few months. You'll actually see some real consistent growth. I promise you that. So this idea of it's okay to suck but not skip, it's not about lowering our standards. It's about raising our consistency. It's about choosing progress over perfection, discipline over dopamine, momentum over procrastination. Ultimately, it's about building the kind of life that we want our habits to work for us instead of against you, where we have the choice to choose what we want to do, what we want to accomplish, instead of being told what we have to do. And this is what's happened to me. I've become a little bit more consistent, and I start to see a little bit better results. I start to see it when I'm working out. I find it way easier to push myself if I've already showed up consistently. I end up doing a little bit better workouts because I've been showing up. I've been building those muscles over time. When I'm editing a video, it's easier for me to add in some of the extra little things to make it a little bit more enjoyable to watch because I'm consistently working at that goal. It also becomes easier because I do it a little bit more. When you become consistent at something, there's no way you're not going to get better at it. So even if you suck at the beginning, it doesn't mean that you'll suck forever. If there's something you want to do, start a project, learn a skill, improve your health, grow your career, give yourself permission to kind of be horrible at it, to start messy and slow, awkward, and unpolished. You have no idea how powerful that first imperfect step could be in your life. Because once you start moving, and if you refuse to stop, life starts changing. It's not overnight, but inevitably, it will change. Thanks for listening, and thanks for tuning in to the My Career Path podcast. I'm hoping to have an episode out every single week and maybe improve upon that here in the future. And if you haven't signed up on my newsletter on the My Career Path podcast website, mycareerpathpodcast.com, I'd love to chat with you guys there. I post articles based on these videos with the video release, so hopefully you can check it out there. And if you have anything else that you'd like me to chat about, or maybe someone who you'd like to get on who has a career that you're interested in, let me know down below in the comments, and I'll see if I can find someone who's willing to share their story. Until next time, I will catch you guys later. See ya.